Thomas Briels, Red Lions, captain, world champion, European champion, 500 meters from your home. What does it feel like?
Oh yeah, it's crazy, really crazy feeling. We worked really hard for it for many years, so it's nice to see that we have the benefits now from all the hard work. It's really a party. I think it's promotion for the hockey sport, in Belgium, but also for the world. And I'm really proud of the way we played this tournament. And yeah, I'm just honored to be in this team and to be part of history.
Can imagine. What's next?
Next is a bit of rest, so really happy that we're qualified for the Olympic Games. It was a big focus point for us. It means we can do a little bit easier in the months of September, October. We don't have to play the qualification games. And I think it's been a really, really long season. We ask a lot of the players mentally and physically, so I think guys can enjoy a little bit and focus on the club now in September.
Enjoy the break, enjoy the title, enjoy the party.
Thanks.
Becoming European Championship in your own hometown, how does it feel?
It feels really good. I thought we handled the final really well. We started sharp and we scored immediately. We had a good lead, so and we held on to that. And
lots of field goals. We didn't need your penalty corner for the long time.
No, we didn't need it. But yeah, it's good that the strikers score, the midfielders score, and our PCs go in. So
perfect. What's next?
I think Olympics, no?
Oh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tokyo?
First maybe a little break, and then club competition, and then Olympics, of course.
Congrats.
Thanks.
The Euro Hockey Daily podcast is brought to you by XPS. Plan, prepare, perform and win with XPS by SidelineSports.com. The essential software platform for hockey coaches all over the world. Not just for coaches here at the European Championship, but for all ambitious coaches eager to improve every day. A must-have tool for clubs who want to track the development of their homegrown talents. For more info, check out xps.promo/hockey. Welcome to the Euro Hockey Daily.
Here together, the day of the finals with Adam Commens, Technical Director of the Belgian Federation. That's the correct title? High Performance Manager, Technical Director. What's in a name? Huh?
Yeah. So it's I think that's easy to explain. Any of those terms or all of the above are fine.
Apply, yeah. Meaning that you are responsible for all top sport within Belgian hockey. Responsible for the men's national team, for the women's national team, for all youth coming below that, and next generations of hockey players. Making sure that Belgium is not a one-day success, but is there to stay at the top of the world.
Yeah, that's right. We're looking to have sustained success, so success over a long period of time, and probably to easily explain my role, I oversee the long-term vision of the Belgian Hockey Federation. Mm-hmm. How do we go about educating our not only our coaches but also our young players to ensure that we develop them to the best of their potential, and to ensure that we have a never-ending flow of players coming into the national teams. And it's quite a big mechanism. We have boys and girls teams from under 15, under 16, under 18 and under 21s. They all have their own staff that work with them in terms of head coaches and assistant coaches, and then of course we have the Red Lions and the Red Panthers, and those two teams are also at the forefront of what I do, and working with the staff of those teams on a daily basis. And I have to say it's an incredibly rewarding role, and one that I really enjoy, because you're working with highly motivated people, and
in the sport you love.
Yeah, and they're at the top of their game, so I really enjoy it, and it's a big responsibility, but it's one I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Yeah, you took over the role from Bert Wenting, and his role has been highlighted on many occasions recently with the rise of Belgian hockey, and rightfully so, I think. He is the one who laid the foundations for the success that Belgian hockey is seeing today. In what way are you continuing on the path that he laid out, or making your own accents probably as well?
Yeah, there were numerous things that Baart did particularly well, and setting up the structure of our youth programs and how we educate the players, how we develop our coaches, was laid the foundation for all that we're seeing now with our senior teams. And I think it would be incredibly naive to throw that all away and say, okay, I've got a new vision.
Yeah.
So what we aim to do, and I sat with Baart when I first started in the role, and there was a few months where we were meeting quite regularly about things that he might have liked to have put into place, but never had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Things that he thought could benefit Belgian hockey in the future. And we brainstormed and we discussed a lot of different things, and I had some ideas as well. And obviously I'd been in Belgium for 7 years in my first stint in Belgium, and so I was aware of some of the strengths that I think that we have in Belgium and
particularities in Belgium.
Yeah, and I wanted to build on that. And I'm a big believer in values-based coaching. So we spoke about what do we stand for, what's the identity of Belgian hockey.
Can you explain value-based coaching?
Yeah, so values-based coaching is basically what you're aiming to do with your teams is to get them to be able to live by a culture and a certain way of living and thinking, and you try to, as a coach, allow your players to develop that. So you ask them what are the things that you believe represent this team, what are the behaviours that you would like to see this team stand for.
Is this something that comes out of the New Zealand rugby?
Yeah, a little bit from the legacy, but I think there are many high performing teams in the world that are doing that, and we had some values with Belgian hockey in the high performance area, and we thought that we might revisit those, and so that's been a piece of work that we've done in the last 2 years with our youth, and we have some values there of, call it type, team, you, passion and excellence, and we try to refer back to team is about being united. What does that stand for? Respectful. There are many words that you could describe for a team. Absolutely. You is about yourself and looking to develop yourself. Passion is around passion for the Belgian shirt, and excellence is around quality in all that we do. And we speak a lot about the behaviours that underpin these values, and the types of behaviours that enhance the values, and types of behaviours which derail the values. And when you are coaching in that way, and you have these values in front of mind, you can link that to the way that you play hockey as well. And you can always lean on those values, and that's what I mean by values-based coaching, where you have players that are busy with demonstrating behaviours out onto the pitch that will only make our teams better, and they're constantly busy with how do they live in that way.
This is something that you start really early with, in the under 16s, and you build but obviously the A team, the men's team and the women's team are the leading examples in these roles.
That's right, and certainly it doesn't always run smoothly and work really well, and you have ups and downs, but I think it gives you a nice anchor as a coach to lean on in times where maybe the results on the pitch aren't going the way that you might like. I once said
because it's easy when it's all going well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when you're hitting rock bottom that you start showing your values.
Yeah, that's right. And I remember once saying to a team that I was coaching that success for me is not winning the match. Success is showing that you're representing the values on the pitch, and that everybody who is watching that particular team could name what our values are. And if we're able to do that, then the result doesn't. I think that will actually help us get the result. But if it doesn't come and we represented our values to the best of our ability, then I would be pleased as a coach.
Yeah.
You know, I can give an example from the other night. The first half of the Red Lions versus Germany, I thought it was a wonderful game of hockey. It was a magnificent spectacle. The Red Lions were playing particularly well, I thought.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Germany were just better in that first half, and they scored the 2, and they were 2-0 up, and
rightfully so at that moment.
That's correct. And I was really, at the same time, I was really proud of the Red Lions because of the way that they were acting on the pitch. They were really fighting. They were sticking to their game plan. They were playing good, clean, hard hockey. And then, you know, obviously we know the result, but the ability to stick to the game plan, to make some adjustments in the second half, to believe in the process, ultimately got them that result. And I thought it was a great demonstration of a team that, under pressure, were able to stick to the plan.
Okay. How about the next generation? How do you see this? Is this coming along? Obviously, you had some next generation players just joining the team recently. Had a couple of unexpected opportunities in the World Cup, and some of these guys have proven their worth and are in the team right now. Is the next generation building also, and according to your wishes and according to the game plan?
Yeah, I'm quite excited actually about the talent that is coming from below the Red Lions. Our under-18 boys team in the European Championships last year, they lost a semi-final to Spain in shootouts, and Spain went on to win that tournament. So I think that there's some good talent coming through there. Of course, our under-21 team, they won a silver medal in the Junior World Cup in 2016. And then in the European Championships, the previous European Championships, not the ones just gone, they won silver there, losing in shootout to the Netherlands. So we've got the depth. We came 5th in the most recent under-21 championship, but I was really encouraged with what I saw in terms of talent. It's not always important that you have
the result. That kind of tournament, it's about the process.
Exactly right. And also, if we're talking about having a sustained flow of players coming into the Red Lions or the Red Panthers, for example, then it's most important that you have 2 or 3 or 4 outstanding players that can come through. It's
because not everybody will make it, obviously.
That's right, and that's just a reality. And from what I saw most recently on the men's side, what we have coming through, I'm really excited about that. And of course, if we're to talk about the women's side and the talent that we have coming through there, our under-18 girls were second in the European Championships last year. Our under-21 girls made the finals of the European Championships this year. They won silver in the previous one. So we have some good youngsters coming through there, and I think that whilst the result of the Red Panthers here maybe was not as we had hoped, I think we have some really talented girls just in behind that you'll start to see come through in the coming 2 or 3 years.
What is needed for the Red Panthers or for women's hockey in Belgium in general to make that next step?
Look, I think that...
is it just patience and trust in the process? Or
I do think that we are building a robust system that will generate high-quality players in the future. I think that there are other nations that are also doing that really well, so it's a difficult landscape. I have faith that we will be able to get there. Maybe not to the same...
level like the Red Lions, because that is exceptional.
And we have a number of really, World Player of the Year in juniors and seniors and World Goalkeeper. We've got guys that are leading goal scorers at the World Cup with Dragflick. So we've got all of the
key elements are coming together here.
To have a top class side. On the women's side, I think we're starting to develop more of the type of athlete that you need to be successful at the top level. And I think that if you look at our junior sides coming through and what they're doing, I think we're probably 5 or 6 years away from where we can be more consistent internationally. Look, I've been really encouraged by our women's side. We came 5th in the Pro League. We beat Australia twice, world number 2.
Exceptionally. You were silver in the last European Cup.
Yeah, that's right. And so they've come a long way in a short period of time. You know, I think I can remember when I was coaching the men's side, they might have even been playing in the B division of the European Championships. We're now playing in a pro league and we're competing with top nations in the world. What we are lacking, I think, at the moment is a bit of international maturity. Which the Red Lions also took a bit of time.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, we went to the Olympics in 2008 and then missed the World Cup qualification in 2010. Came back and were 5th in 2012. So that there was indeed a level of inconsistency with that group for a while.
It takes ups and downs to learn.
Yeah. And I think that the Red Panthers are just that little bit of lacking that little bit of international maturity. I hear a lot of things. Is it a mental problem? Are we able to do it at home?
Yeah.
I think as you play more and more key, quality, difficult matches of importance, players, they learn to deal with it and they learn how they can produce their best hockey at those key pressure moments.
Yeah.
And I think it will come. And I have a lot of faith in that program, and I think that they're in a good direction.
Okay, we are living in a situation where we have a strong domestic league, and we have the ability to pay good attention and have a quality national team program as well, because we live in a small country, same way Holland does. How do you see the added value of both domestic clubs and national team in the success that we are seeing now, and for example also in the evolution that the Red Panthers are going through?
Yeah, so I come from Australia, and the environment that you work in Australia is a centralised program where all the players move to one city and they train together, and they don't really have a domestic league. They're building one now. Hockey One in Australia is an interesting and new concept, and I'm curious how that will go. I think it's quite exciting, but so it's very different to what we have over here. And I do believe that the clubs and the domestic league in Europe, that's the foundation of all that we have. That's where all our hockey players come from. You know, people almost live in their hockey clubs. And so we need to be mindful of that in developing a national team and a program to generate national team success. We need to be able to cooperate well with the clubs, and we need to try to come up with a program that is mutually beneficial.
Yes. I
am a little concerned with the load on our players playing the pro league, because we have a strong domestic league where we play 17 or 18 matches in the season, and then we're adding probably on top of what we used to do maybe another 10 matches, all in that first
playoffs and EHLs and stuff like that.
In that first 6 months, and even as a performance director, when I looked at the program to begin with, I thought we normally do a trip in January somewhere and we play 6 or 7 matches. We normally do something around the playoffs for players that are not maybe playing in the playoffs, and then we have a summer program in the lead up to our big tournament. So I didn't think that it would. It was a big increase in matches, but it's the travel. It's in between all of these matches. It's the going and staying in hotels. It's the constant pressure of having to get results of this.
You can't let go as a player.
Yeah, which is which probably we underestimated in the beginning of how that will impact the players. What we saw was a group of players that were really mentally and physically tired at the end of the season. Look, it's professional sport almost now, so we I think you need to expect that, and maybe what we will see is that teams will expand their groups, and some have done that. But it's to go back to around the domestic league, I think it is important that we are constantly monitoring the load of our players, that we're not overloading them, to make sure that they're able to play quality hockey with their club teams, because ultimately that's where our players come from, and that's where the heroes are generated.
Absolutely.
In the clubs.
For me, it's the foundation of the game, so that's it's important.
And sometimes I hear, and like I said, being an Australian, we don't really have that
club culture.
That club culture, and sometimes I hear from other parts of the world where they say, oh, we want to play matches here in March, and we say, well, we can't because of the domestic league. Well, we're not worried about your domestic league. And I think it's quite naive to say that, because whilst Europe has some very strong nations, and we've got a lot of the top nations in the world.
We're only part of it.
Yeah, we're only part of it, but we are an important part. Just as we would not say, well, we don't rate your particular domestic competition or tournament, or we need to be mindful of everybody or every nation's unique situations.
Oh, true. Who will be Belgium's biggest rival in Tokyo, and why?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've been really impressed by the development of Australia in the last 18 months. I think
they've taken a different approach. It's less about the individual now, it's more about the team now.
Yeah, I think in the past they had some really world-class players like Jamie Dwyer and Mark Knowles, and they had top goalkeepers and fantastic penalty corners. And so it's hard to get away from the fact they had these outstanding guys, and Eddie Ockenden, let's not forget him, he's a wonderful player too. I think what you're seeing now is an emergence of a really strong core group, and someone like Jacob Wetton I would rate as one of the top players in the world at present. He's evolved from a guy that played striker to be able to play a high midfield, but also a low contact. So he's an exciting player, and then they've got some. You've got Tom Craig with his speed. I think
Saluski,
Sharpie's good. So you've got some really high quality players there. So, but I do believe, and you can't underestimate the job that Colin has done with that group and his staff. I think they've instilled a fantastic culture that we were talking about before. We're just a really hard working group that don't take a backward step for anybody. So I think that. Certainly they're one of the teams to beat. They're a world number one ranked team at the moment. I have a healthy respect for Germany after just watching them from afar for the last period of time. It doesn't always look like it's going smoothly. We beat them 8-0 in the Pro League, but
they're building also towards Tokyo.
And you can see that there's potential there. They have a wonderful strike line. I think that their strike group is a fantastic group of players, and I've been quite impressed by the development of their other lines. So that's certainly going to be a team to watch. And of course the Netherlands, whilst not having a fantastic performance the other day against Spain, I can't forget how they performed at the World Cup. We had a really tough game against them in the Pro League semis. I think that they've got a wonderfully skilled group that can score goals from anywhere on the pitch. So I think that their ability to hurt you on the counter-attack is probably as good as any team in the world. They're the ones that I'd probably have in the top echelon at the moment, without forgetting India. I think that they won the Junior World Cup. I thought they were the best team there at the Junior World Cup, so they have some great players that have a couple of them have quite unique skill sets. Their ability to use the aerial ball, particularly the way it's being blown in this tournament now. That will
allow them some more leniency and
exactly. So it will help them. So of course at the top level you can have some surprises, but I think that core group of five are the ones.
Do you consider Spain a surprise here at the European Championship?
Somewhat of a surprise. Of course, we know the quality of some of their attackers, but if you have a look at their form during the Pro League, you'd almost have to say it definitely is a surprise. In saying that, what Spain has done with their high performance program on both the men and women's side, I've been really impressed with, and I think it's a great.
Because I hear a lot of people telling me, because this is a very old team. You've got some really old players who are still making the difference in this team. Which sounds like a bad signal for the future. But when I hear everybody talking around what's coming from Spain, they did a great job at the under 21 Euros. And apparently the younger teams are also producing some exceptional players at this moment.
Their under 18 group and under 21 group are both very, very strong. They've got some outstanding individuals there that are playing with already a lot of maturity and highly skilled, as you quite often see with Spanish teams. And so I think that the job that Fred and Adrian have done on both the men's and women's side, because of course the women they won also the Junior Euros and bronze medal at the World Cup. I think they've done a great job, but I also think that that's a great I'm a big advocate for continuity and consistency in coaching. Allow coaches time to put their vision in place and work with them to get a long-term vision which they can sustain, rather than jumping around with a different coach every 2 years. And you can say what you like about Fred and Adrian as a coach, if you think they're good coaches or not good coaches or whatever, but what you have seen is that they've been able to put a program in place, they've been able to get a consistent message across, and then you see the teams are growing.
Because they're doing what they believe in.
And so I have enormous respect for those guys, and I think they've done a wonderful job, because it was, it wasn't that long ago that I thought both programs were not really on track, and they've certainly got them back on track, and I would say that both teams are capable of doing something in Tokyo.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for your insights here. We wish you all the best because we're recording this just before the finals. You guys will be hearing this after the finals, so then we know if Belgium was surprised by Spain or just did their job in the front of their home crowd. But I wish you all the best for the finals, and especially in Tokyo as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to this evening's match.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Join us again tomorrow for a new episode of the Euro Hockey Daily on your Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or at studiohockey.com. Enjoy your hockey. Bye bye.